Greetings everybody, this is Light on the Tube again. This is the third video of the How to Beat Them series, which is going to be against Shank. So let's just take out the River Vandal and maybe one of the Shanks as well, because I do need only one Shank to tell you how they are just working. Of course, with their weapon they are just using almost the same what the dregs are just using, and they are just using it almost in the same way, that they are just aiming on you and they are just aiming on where you are just heading. If I'm just moving faster, then he's just going to aim more in front of me to hit me, of course. So for that you always need to watch for it and you always need to try to take it out, but the best way against these kind of fast hitting enemies is just if you are getting behind a cover, of course, because if you are just getting behind a cover, then they are just won't be able to hit you that easy, and of course you are just will be able to shoot out from the cover because you can just lean out from behind them. So let's just shoot it down. Of course, if I just would lost my shield, then it's the time to recharge it, of course. So the Shank is a bit harder enemy in some way than the Vandal because of its projectiles. Of course, it's not that hard hitting, of course, but because of that it's just hitting you all the time, and if you are just not going to get your shield recharged, it can happen that of course it's kill you. So for that it's always my primary targets as well as the dregs are. How I do know, they don't really have melee attacks, so for that they're just always going to shoot on you. To dodge enemy bullets is the best way and the easiest way most of the time if you are just jumping. Even for that, if it just going to hit you, almost the best way against these fast shooting opponents if you are just jumping around, because in that way it's just going to have less chance to hit you than just moving always to the side. But of course, if you are just moving and turning, it can happen that it's just not going to hit you, but if you are just counting when it's going to shoot and then you are just going to jump a bit more, it can happen more. You have more chance not to get hit, of course. Even for how it looks to me, you will be able to try it out. So the Shank are not the worst enemies, of course, but because of that they are just not connected to the ground. You are not even easy to hit them with the bike, because, not to mention, without weapons you have the chance to run over on them, but it's just not that easy because they are just not going to let you, of course, and you are just really need to hit it, and even for that you are just hitting it, it's not going to get damaged. Even for that you just hit it. I'm telling you because all other enemies who's just connected to the ground are going to get hit by your vehicle, and in that way you can kill with your vehicle, of course, but this enemy is just immune to that thing. For I think because of that reason that is just not connected to the ground. It's not really the hardest enemies, even for that I think it was just too weak, so I was able, so it's weaker than the Vandal because it just got killed almost instantly after I just hit it with my melee attack. Of course, most of the enemy are just giving you ammunition, of course, that's how you can gather them back. And I think that was the Shank video, because the Shank is just not the hardest enemy, of course. So then again, thank you for watching.